There comes a time when us caregivers or caring service providers have to take care of ourselves. It's time for me to do my own feet. Nothing fancy. I don't even get water. Just a dry pedicure. Clean up the nails and polish. I guess I can shower at home. No fun. So, acetone based polish remover is the way to go. Remember, non acetone, non works. Please don't waste your time using that. And you may be wondering, what's so wrong with my feet that it's time to do them? Well, that's just it. We shouldn't wait until our nails look like they need to be done before we do something about it. Now, I'll be honest, I'm notorious for waiting until the last minute, but not this time. My nails are too long, and I know it because I feel them. I don't like that. Also, beware that long nails are dangerous. They basically get in the way and are prone to stubbing. Yes, and stubbing causes trauma. And that trauma rears its ugly head most times later rather than sooner. You see that stuff I deal with, and if you haven't, check out some of my fun, troubled toenail transformation adventures on this channel. So I got all my stuff together, and I follow the same pedicure steps as I would with you. It's just that I'm all twisted up and have to find the right position for me. So bear with me as I try to stay in the camera frame. Now, always trim the nail straight across. I use little nippers. I don't like them big things. But because I'm upside down and they cut at an angle, I have to nip with the back end. You might see me doing that. I'm just sharing that because I had to figure that out the hard way. By the way, the professional tools that I'm using are in the description, so help yourself over there. File the nails straight across too. The only time you wouldn't file nails straight across is if the nail bed is more like a circle and the nails tend to hang off the corners if they're filed straight. Now, in that case, you would follow the shape of the natural nail bed. I must have forgot something. Gotta go get it. Okay, so now we're using the cuticle pusher. We gotta push those stubborn cuticles back. I disturb and push up the cuticle with a pusher. The cuticle, in case you haven't been following, is actually the skin that sticks to the nail plate. That skin is very stubborn. We don't always see it, but once we disturb it by pushing it up, it looks horrible and it has to get gone. You might notice I do the same thing to all 10 nails before moving on to the next thing. And that's because I need to stay on track and be consistent. I know how to be a squirrel, okay? And that always slows me down. So this way I keep my speed. Don't worry, I do the same thing with you. Now that I'm pushing up this cuticle and it's gonna look so terrible, I now have to safely blast it away. And I find that the E-file and a smooth diamond bit is super effective rather than trying to nip everything away. We never get all the stuff when we just nip. So I have advanced to my E-file, been doing this for years, and it just makes life a little easier and a much cleaner pedicure. So again, I'm a bit awkward. I'm trying to show you what I'm doing. So it's just blasting all of that away. And then I'm kind of just taking off the top layer of nail. And it's not much at all because the bit is smooth. And it's way too smooth to do much damage. So it's just blasting the skin particles that I lifted up away. Now you might notice too that I don't have a baby toenail. Where'd that thing go? Well, all my life it has always just been like this little bird claw. So years ago when I had foot surgery, the doctor was like, "Do you want that?" He said I could take it off and it won't have to grow back. Well, if you're going to take one, you got to take the other. So that's what he did. It just got in the way anyway. I didn't need that. Ooh, but wait. Bump all of that. Here's the fun part. Digging for treasures. Yes, I like doing that on myself too. That dead skin that I'm pulling out of these nails, that's our body wash, soap, oils, and let's not forget dirt, because that stuff just finds its place everywhere. Now, I don't care how clean you are. It's just going to find a way in. Pedicures are important for that very reason, whether you get them done by somebody else or whether you DIY. Now, even though taking care of my feet is a bit awkward, I still love to dig and find treasures. So you might see me pulling stuff out of here. Now, one of these toenails had ingrown toenail surgery. I'm not sure which one it is, but because that was about 35 years ago on the big toenails. I've had that trouble since a young girl. My dad and I would take turns waiting on mommy to dig out our ingrown toenails. Ain't that a way to grow up? Finally, as a teenager, I had to have the surgery where the doctor just kind of lasers a thin layer of nail off the side. Now, it worked for me. The little nail, it still tries to grow back. And so when I do my pedicure, you might see me just pull that little nail out of there. But it grows very slow, and I just pull it out every chance I get. Now, I have to say, I'm not recommending any of that. I'm just telling a story. I'm not sure what makes that kind of surgery work or not. Is it the nail itself? Or is it the doctor skills? I just really don't know. So I've had clients that have had the same surgery. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I just don't know what makes it work. But because I know what's happening and have to deal with it myself, or have had to deal with it myself, I'm very sympathetic to the feeling. And as a licensed professional with training, I try to help your toenails out of a jam, if you know what I mean. So here we go. My nails are all done. I am going to put a base coat of polish on there. Now, the base coat protects the nail from the polish stain, right? But it also helps the polish last longer because the base coat sticks to the nail and then the polish sticks to the base coat. So a base coat is usually pretty beneficial. And now I'm just going to polish now. This is just my favorite color. It's called 90210. And I usually switch between this one and another one that's called Whimsical. And I just very carefully try to paint my toenails. When you paint your own toenails, it's a very awkward situation too. And some of us tend to like to get paint all over the toe or all over the whole toe. Well, try not to do that, because even though we can clean it up and you'll see me do that, just still try to paint the nail, because getting the polish on the skin is not always the easiest thing to clean up. And then sometimes we tend to get lazy and we don't get all of that off, saying, oh, I'm just going to get in the shower and it'll get it. Well, you know what? Polish does not belong on the skin, especially long term. So I put a little acetone polish remover inside of this little dapping dish and use my cleanup brush just to clean up where it got on the skin. I don't want to wait for my shower, right? Should be a professional job, even though it's just on myself. So I'm going to clean all of that up. By the way, a little hack. So usually when we polish our nails, it's going to be 2 coats. So the best thing to do is after the first coat, clean up. Do your cleanup. Because if you wait till after the second coat, that first coat will have dried a bit and it makes it harder to clean up. When you clean up in between coats, you're doing 2 things. Number 1, it's easier to clean up the product or the polish off of the skin. And number 2, you're giving that first coat a slight chance of setting. You're giving it a few minutes just to get set before you add the second coat. And then you go back in with your brush and your acetone polish remover, acetone-based polish remover, and you clean up what you messed up again. And then, of course, every polish job needs a top coat. So that top coat kind of seals the deal. It's depending on what you're using. I use high quality products, so the top coat is going to give my polish that shine, because a lot of polishes dry to a matte finish. So my top coat is going to lock in that color, is going to lock in some shine. And so that's it. Oh, I'm using my little fan. That's my little hot flash fan to give it a little nice set before I go in with that top coat. But that's it. That's it. So whether you're doing a DIY or you're working on family, friends, or if this is your profession and this is what you do, this is how you do it. The easiest way to do it. And here is the finished product. Ooh, I'm so glad that, ooh, that look good. Ooh, I'm so glad that's over. Trying to find time to do my own stuff. That's the hard part. See you next time.